Our service learning project was in collaboration with the organization Tapestry Health. And so the process involved recording interviews with Tapestry workers and interviewing them about their experiences and the work that they were doing, and the services that they provide. And then we would be taking those interviews and editing them together into podcasts. My partner, Ben, and we paired up to make two podcasts about Tapestry's harm reduction program.
Mm.
And we were gearing it toward college students to give helpful information about drugs, which we both found a little ironic because it turned out neither of us use drugs. So we were a little bit like, oh, are we the best people to do this? We want to do it, but like, how is this going to work? But that unlikely student topic match actually ended up being a strength because the result was that we were naturally curious and we learned a lot from interviewing and brainstorming with our Tapestry community partners. And when the Tapestry workers visited class to brainstorm with us in early on, that was really important to me because I felt very out of my depth. Like I had this interest in the harm reduction program and I wanted to cover that. But how does someone who doesn't use drugs or know much about any of that make a podcast about harm reduction? You know, I just wasn't quite sure. So I let the partners know that, and they were really eager and ready to just fill me in and explain what I didn't understand. And so instead of trying to be something that I wasn't and trying to address the podcast as if like, oh yeah, I've had years of experience with this. I know all about this, you know, instead of trying to be that, my partners and I took it from the angle of informing people with backgrounds like mine, who don't know much about all of this, why harm reduction is important and how even those who don't use drugs can get involved with this kind of work and really help out the community in that way. So it can be intimidating feeling like one of the only people in the room who doesn't know what's being talked about. But this experience helped me to not let my lack of knowledge close me off from others. I realized that I don't need to try to learn everything or have all the answers or have all the same perspectives as everyone else before I can connect and share with other people. And through that, I found out that I wasn't the only one with similar questions. So, I mean, each of us has a unique background and perspective, and we don't need to be afraid to show that. I mean, working on a project like this helped me realize that we've all got some ignorance, we've all got some bias, we've all got struggles. And if I'm afraid to acknowledge that in community with others and afraid to share my work as it's developing and share my ideas because I'm afraid, that my work or ideas will be judged, then I can't get feedback and fresh perspectives and ideas to help the project move forward and to enrich the project. And I definitely fell into that rut for a little while during the process. And my work kind of stagnated because I wasn't sharing very well with other people. But when I realized that and I started sharing my undeveloped, imperfect ideas and got feedback from people, it really did just enrich the process. So it made me think of how, like Tapestry's motto, we can all give each other, even in the classroom, access without stigma to respect, to grace, and to a safe place to grow and to acknowledge our own faults, our own, lack of knowledge, because we're all beautiful, fallible people. But by leaning into a service learning process like this and being brave enough to open up to someone's critique or different perspective, not to mention their encouragement, we and our work grow in ways that don't happen when we do things alone. And we don't just grow up, but we grow out and we touch a whole lot of people and a whole lot more people touch us